because I tried to give a speech in front of a crowd, and from anxiety, I blacked out. So I decided that growth should not be optional, it should be intentional. And Eve Speaks was born. So I hope you could stay on this journey with us. I also have with us Genevieve Queenum, who is going to introduce herself. Welcome, Genevieve.
Thank you, Angela. So I'm Genevieve Kenham. I'm a team member of the coaching team of Eve Speak, and I'm happy to be with you tonight again.
Thank you for joining. But Genevieve, why are you being so modest? Tell them what you do and how you can help them, and tell them.
Yeah, I am a Maxwell leadership and trainer. I am also mental health coach, first responder, and my highest calling is to develop you and to help you um, discover the great you. So uh, I work with Ivy Speak, and I also work with individuals and um, companies, professional, to help them develop their own goals, uh, professional goals, and personal goals. So,
Well, I would like to brag a little bit more about Genevieve. Genevieve is a woman to be reckoned with. She has and continues to face so many challenges, and she literally lives what she's teaching and what she's coaching. And I look to her for an example of perseverance in her faith, and also in standing up even in the midst of really, really difficult trials. So she's not just saying she's a coach for the sake of saying she's a coach. She actually lives it. And that to me is the greatest testament and worthy of imitation. I want to welcome Patricia, Robin, and Shorna to our conversation tonight. We want to make this a robust conversation, okay? So even though you're not on camera, guys, I want you to ask questions and all the things, all the things. So we have been talking about for the past several months the idea that we have to know ourselves in order to grow ourselves. And there's a popular quote that I like. It says, "If you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there." Genevieve shared that with me last night, and I really thought, oh, I like that quote. Let's share it with the audience. Genevieve, why did you pick that quote? What does it mean to you?
well, because as it is, as everybody can understand it, you cannot reach a goal that you never set, that you even don't have in your mind.
Mm,
So everything starts by the will, the desire, the vision you have of something. You cannot hit something you don't target.
mm,
So yeah, this is what it gives to me, and it can.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. Another thing that really speaks to me is my 2023, where I've been learning about the thinking framework. And I have come to the conclusion, consciously now, that if you don't think well, I didn't even know there was a thinking framework. There is actually a thinking framework. And the framework says you have to find a place to think your thoughts. Find a place. I literally found a place. Not now though, because it's too cold, but I would go to the park in the summertime. Now I'll just sit in my chair when everybody's out the house and for my thinking time, or go to Panera. But it's so important, according to this framework, that if we are going to chart a course to get us to where we want to go, we must find a place to think our thoughts. Schedule it, make it that intentional, a place to shape your thoughts. Sometimes you get a lot of thoughts, but it's not, it's all over the place. And we are, you know, we had an idea, and then we see somebody else implement the idea and we go, oh my gosh, I thought about that. But it doesn't mean anything because you didn't do anything with it. Then you must find a place to stretch that thought. Not only do you need a place, you need people with whom you can stretch the thoughts with. People who are like-minded, and hence the community that we have here at Eve Speaks. Someone who's going to listen to your idea in its very early form and encourage and inspire you and blow you up and say, go for it. A place to land your thoughts. Some people that you can really, some other good thinkers who will take your thoughts and you land it with yourself first because you need to believe it. And then you take it to some other people. You go, what do you think? I do that with my husband a lot. What do you think? And he'll do it with me. What do you think? And then lastly, fly your thoughts. Your thoughts must be executed for it to become reality. I remember when I started out in business, initially, I didn't believe that I could run a business. I didn't believe I could be in a business. I just didn't believe. I just thought, I like to deal with people. But when I sat down with my then boyfriend, he actually believed that I could do it. And together we're flying the thoughts. We're running the business together. You see how that works? Again, it's the decision to be intentional, that if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. So today we're going to use a thinking framework to help us to talk about communication and why we need to know ourselves in order to grow ourselves. You want to talk about that some more, Genevieve? Talk about how this applies to this idea of the personality, the C personality, which is what we're going to explore tonight.
Yeah, it's really accurate when you talk about the thinking frame and the fact of knowing yourself. Because when you know yourself, um you can expect something about some situation, and you can understand yourself better in a way that um, you can shape your thinking, because you know what you need to grow. You know what is your strength and where you are good or average, and in that way you can have the growth plan that can really help you become better. Okay, because one of the example I can give is that when I read the first time my report, I I used to say that I feel comforted, because uh you know what is this feeling, to feel like nobody understand you, or maybe to give up on the idea that maybe I am the problem. And one day you understand that, oh no, I am not the problem. I am just, I have a personality. Now I understand myself better. I start thinking about the things around me differently.
Right.
I stop being afraid or stuck on some ideas like, don't talk about this because people will maybe take it this way. I've learned to shape my communication based on my personality to make a bigger impact.
And what you just said ties in very well with the thinking framework, because unless you start thinking about your personality like deliberately, you will just think that perhaps the other person is the problem, or you're the problem.
Or you're the problem. Exactly.
And sometimes the truth is, though, we are the problem.
Yeah. But as soon as you understand that nobody is the problem, we're just different. You put yourself
I don't
in
know, Genevieve. Sometimes actually I have met people who are the problem.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, but let's be kind tonight, okay? And say that, well, we can try to understand everyone based on their personality.
And
Yeah.
sometimes I'm the problem, but if I'm not aware, this idea that I can step away from my mind, vacate my own mind, and observe myself in any situation, whether it's my workplace, my relationship with my husband, my children, my friends,
Mm-hmm.
then I can make the necessary steps to change. But if I don't
Mm-hmm.
have that awareness, which no animals, no other creation
Mm-hmm.
has, but the human being, the ability
Mm-hmm.
to step away from themselves and say, and observe themselves like a separate entity. We're the only species that can do that.
Yeah.
And
I-
so the awareness can speak to me and let me go, Angela, you're the problem right here. But sometimes we're not even aware that we don't know that we don't know, and we're not interested in knowing that we
Mm-hmm.
don't know. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? And
Yep. Yep.
so we go back to that quote again. If you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. And so we find
Exactly.
ourselves and our lives off the rails, constantly having relational problems. There are people who I know someone, every relationship
Mm-hmm.
that comes up, there's a problem. I mean, it's,
Mm-hmm.
and I've had relational problems, but it can't always be somebody else. You understand?
Yeah.
So that's why it's so important to have this mindset that I need to know and chart the course for where I'm
Mm-hmm.
going so that
Yep.
I know what road to get on to get where I want to go.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Does
So
anybody
it's im-
in the group have, in the audience, have any questions? Anything that is being sparked by this conversation, please be sure to put it in the chat. Raise your hand. We are not here to entertain. We want this to be an interactive conversation. The idea is that we are exploring our personality type. And tonight, we're
Mhm.
specifically dealing with the C personality. But
Mm.
before we move on, let's talk about the personality types that we addressed in the past, which I believe is that disc chart. This
Mhm.
chart right here is what Genevieve is going to talk about. Yes? Because she's
Yes.
actually the certified coach in this particular arena.
Yeah. So we're gonna make a quick summary on the first three personality of the acronym DISC, which is D, the D personality, the I, and the S. And today we're gonna focus a little bit on the C personality. So maybe we can come to the graph, just not to the graph, but the chart of DISC to remind a little bit our audience
Mhm.
the the personality. Can we have the chart?
One
Or
second, by the way, Jade. One of the audience member is saying that the chat is closed. Can you open up the chat so people can put their questions if they need to? Carry on. Thank you, Robin, for letting us know that.
yeah,
Genevieve, carry on.
okay. So we have the four personality because I remember DISC is an acronym of the four personality. We have the D, the I, and the S. So the D personality is people, who are very decisive, very direct, and people who go straight forward. They don't. They just need the bottom line and the result. And we have the I personality who are more friendly, very people oriented. They are the joker of the group. When you see them somewhere, they are the most people who like to socialize, who always, they are the good group leader.
So as she's talking, try to consider which personality type are you? Are you the D, which she talked about before? Are you dominant? Are you result oriented? Do you cringe at details and lack a lot of information?
Mm-hmm.
Do you love results? That's the D. This one
Mm-hmm.
here is the I, which is this guy looks like a joker. He's the life of the party. He loves
Yeah,
bright colors.
they are the most sympathical people. Do you see the slide, Angela? Because I don't see.
Yeah, I
Uh,
do see the slide. They're
I don't.
persuasive. The I is persuasive, spontaneous, friendly, and they love the spotlight. Is that you?
I don't
The
see
next
the
one, you still
slide.
can't see the signs, Genevieve?
No, I can see. Okay, now I see them. Yeah.
Okay.
So and then we have The I personality, okay, and that I already presented, and these are the S personality. So we call them the team oriented person. Very good in following through, you know, very loyal friend. That's why they we call them team oriented. They are the best people you can have in a team.
Mm,
And there are also people who are looking for acceptance. So they are people who doesn't want to hurt a lot. They don't want to be pushed. They work at their own space, and they are also people oriented because they are very sensitive, just like the eye. They are sensitive, very team oriented, but they are people who are more um they are more discreet than the eye. The eye are very extroverted when the S personality is more introverted. So
chat is still closed, Jay. Still can't, people still can't leave a comment. And why is it important to know the D versus the I versus the S?
mhm,
Because it impacts the health of the relationships and how you navigate,
mhm,
whether it's in your marriage, in your girlfriend relationships,
mhm,
at work.
mhm.
It just helps you tremendously. And would we agree that relationships is the right relationship is everything? Is it not? It really
Yeah,
is.
it's everything
It's
because we live
everything.
on the earth, right? We don't live with animals, so relationship communication is everywhere
Right.
with your kids. You cannot say that, oh, if you want to go somewhere where you won't have any communication and you won't be concerned about relationship, you can go and live on the moon, right? But as long as you are on the earth and dealing with human beings just like you, communication and relationship are something that you have to really take care because it's everywhere. And the better you communicate, the better you connect with people around you. And you can connect with people when you understand them and when you can deal with their particularity. So because
Yeah, absolutely. And look at, and if we, in case we're taking it lightly, which I don't believe that any of us would on this call, look at the impact of a lack of communication or effective communication, because they're all communicating. The question is, are we effective?
hmm,
My daughter, sometimes I fail miserably in my communication with her. She's 10 and she
mhm,
want to challenge everything I say, like everything. So what I've decided to do now, I came up with this idea. I'm gonna take her out every Saturday morning, sit in Panera. This Saturday was too cold though, so she didn't come. Sit in Panera and just talk about her week and get to know her in her world so that
mhm.
we can improve our communication. And when we sit down, she's teaching me things that I have never even heard of. Mom, you know what it is to get rizzed? Do you know who Billie Eilish is? I don't even know who Billie Eilish, but I know now because she taught me 2 weeks ago. But the communication is adding a different dimension to our
Yeah.
relationship that
Mhm.
if I hadn't carved out that time, I wouldn't have known. My husband is another example. He's very much a high D personality. What does that mean to be a high D? Can you show us a chart so we can show people what
Yeah.
it means to be a high D?
A high D is someone who is determined, that the kind of a demanding person. They are very strong-willed,
Mm-hmm.
and they very, very independent and competitive in a lot of things, and yeah, when they are wired with another type of personality. They can be, protective, or they can be totally sometimes even, uh, how can I say, they can be, you know, they can sometimes, um, you can feel like you are pushed because the high D are people who doesn't show their feelings because they are result driven. So when you communicate with this kind of person, don't ask them what they feel, ask them what they think because they are thinkers.
Don't ask them what they feel, ask them what they think. My
Yeah,
husband is just like this. He
yeah.
wants, and
This is
sometimes, oh my gosh, because we run a business together and it becomes,
yeah.
woo! Sometimes
That
it's fireworks up in here.
they are not very, 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 there are people who can make the difference between feelings and thinking very well. When
Mm.
someone is high, is wired a high D. And this is why they can work well with the high C personality because these are the two personality trait in the chart of DISC who are task oriented. The C
But can
person,
you show us can you show us the graph so that we can drive home a
yes,
visual of what?
exactly. So this graph, maybe some people in the audience may want to know themselves as this graph is very precise, and this graph is the I think the fifth page of the DISC report. So maybe Angela, it's good to remind how we can have this graph by taking the DISC assessment to.
Yes, in order to know you so you can grow you, in order to make sure you know where you're going so that you don't just choose any road, you need to take the DISC assessment. The DISC assessment is the opportunity that you can seize to get to know you so much better, your personality type. And
Mhm.
these graphs is plotting the personality type that you have and the degree to which the personality type that you have will impact your communication. Am I saying that right, Genevieve?
Yes, exactly. It's
So, for
the and
example, in the first graph, go ahead and explain the first graph.
Yeah, so the first graph is what we call the public self, or we can call it also the mask,
Mm-hmm.
because it is how you perceive that people outside expect you to be.
Mm. The
So
mask, how
the mask
people expect you to be.
you to be, yeah.
Okay.
So maybe we don't think about it, but people uh, behave in the way they expect outside to expect them to behave. Let's say that you can be someone who say, you know what, I don't I don't mind what people think. I don't want to smile. I don't want to smile. I'm here to work. This can be someone who can be plotted a high D,
Mm.
you know. But when in your public self, you think that people expect you to be kind, you will that will be your first approach. That will be your
So
first.
you're
You
basically a
maybe
people pleaser with the public self.
exactly not people pleaser, but you can be maybe someone who really think. Let's say that I will give you an example. You come in a shop because you want, let's say, to buy a phone. A high D, you know, in because
High
the
D
first
meaning they are above the graph.
yes, you see the first graph is the mask.
So
Okay,
this
it,
right
it is
here.
the yeah, we can call it also the public self. This
Okay.
person can come in the shop and say, can I have the last iPhone, please? And the seller, the vendor can start making the business with it. Someone who will be, for example, a high I in this first graph is maybe someone who will come and say, hi, how are you? How was this day today? Okay, so I would like to talk to someone today who can change my day and make a kind of, um,
Mhm.
uh, mm, a joke like this. So this shows the public self of this person. Maybe it is people who are not really like this, but this is what they expect, that they think that people expect them to be friendly when they come somewhere. So this is the first approach they have when they are outside. So when I see this graph, I see that it is someone who is in his public self, a high D.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see the three graph, the graph in the middle is the core, or what we call the private self.
This graph is
That's,
the private self.
yeah, this graph can be described as the real you, who you are under pressure.
Really.
Yeah.
This is not the one you're. I would think that this is who you are at home with your family.
Yeah, with your family, this is how you react when you are in your private,
Behind
in
closed
privacy. Yeah,
doors.
exactly. And also how you react under pressure. You know, that's most of the time when people are under pressure, they just show their real
Mm,
personality and behavior. So this is the private core. This is the private self. And the last one is what we call the perceived self.
perceived self. Is that the
Yeah.
same thing as the secret self?
No, it's not the secret self. It's how you perceive yourself.
Which means you could be self-deceived.
Exactly. Yeah, you can be self-deceived. But when I see this three graph, I can see that this person, for example, is someone who is quite, if I can say it, this person is quite balanced because,
Balanced,
yeah, based on this graph, this person is a high D, is a high D.
dominant.
Yeah, the dominant trait is D, and
Uh-huh.
the second dominant trait is
The I, which is the
I.
influencer, which is the life of the party.
Exactly.
By the
Yeah.
way, guys, now you can ask questions. The chat is open.
Yeah.
An I, okay.
Exactly. So we can see that in his private self and how he perceives himself. That can be a person who say that, oh no, I'm very friendly, I like to be with people, at home I'm the joker and everything, but in the public self he is more withdrawal and more introverted and very demanding, for example, but
Robin wants to know, more importantly, what does the chart rate? It's rating. What would
it
you tell her that the chart rates,
yeah,
Genevieve?
the chart rates the behavior in public, in private, and how you perceive yourself.
It rates your behavior based on your personality and how you interact with the other personality types,
Exactly.
and for you to make the changes along the way that may be causing you to grate against somebody. Some people, their personality grates on you and you don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
If
Mm-hmm.
you understand what it is about this person, if you know, for example, I know, for example, my husband is a high D, I don't go to him with a whole bunch of details. Not that I like details myself, but I wouldn't do that because he wants the bottom line. So if you sit there and try to give him a whole bunch of details, he'll get really irritated. So that's what is helping you. It's educating you to know how to deal with the different personality types
Mm-hmm.
so that you can improve the quality of your relationships. Did that help, Robin?
Yeah.
She also wants to know what is on the side of the graph 1 to 6. What does she mean? What do you mean by that? What is on the side of the graph 1 to 6? You mean here?
Yeah. We have the midline. The midline, which is, you see, the point is 0. So everything which is above the midline
Mm-hmm.
and is at the dominant trait. And whatever is under the midline is is really low. We can say that this person has a low S trait, for example. So when you will make a growth plan, a personal development plan with this person, you will help this person develop, some behavior like how to be in a team, improve their uh, capacity to follow through. That's mean that the good trait, the good behavioral trait of the S personality are very low in this type of in this behavioral analysis of this person. So
Mm.
it helps when, for example, because when you want to recruit someone, you want to recruit a teacher, um, you want to recruit an administrative assistant or a coach, and knowing this graph can help you choose the right person for the right place.
That's a very good point because I'm an employer. And when I'm employing people, their personality makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Because if they can't work with well with other people, or if if their personality, I have to know how to match people to put them
Mm-hmm.
on teams so
Mm-hmm.
that I can get the most productivity out of them. And so
Exactly.
this for me is like gold right here because you know productivity is everything in an employment situation. Actually, you can use a Q&A to ask questions because the chat is still closed. So that's what Robin's been using. So I'm really hoping that this is helping you to really be thinking about yourselves and thinking
Mm-hmm.
about your trait. And for God's sake, please understand that each of us, God made us, and there's nothing wrong with anybody's personality.
Exactly.
We just need to know ourselves so we can
Mm-hmm.
grow ourselves. And that
Exactly.
I'm telling you, this can grow, make your coins grow. You want to make more money, it can help you make more money. It can help you certainly have a better relationship with your children, better relationship with your
Yeah.
spouse, which is always something to invest in because, as human beings, we're constantly changing. It helps you even with a relationship with yourself
Mm.
because you can know what is it that you need to do
Yeah.
to be the best version of you. And the other
Yeah.
part of it, I want, and that's a really key part because sometimes we can feel like, I can't deal with those kind of people, or I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't work out in that situation. But if
Mm-hmm.
you educate yourself, just like with anything else, you
Mm-hmm.
could probably go in there and just really blow
Oh
yourself
yes.
away, but with what you
Yeah.
can glean from the situation.
Mm.
The point is, just like the animals, show that picture of the animals. We have different we are different,
Mm.
right? Show
Mm.
the ones with the tiger and the other ones first. The other picture. This one, the lion, the dog, the zebra, and the giraffe. There's nothing wrong with any of them.
Mm-hmm.
They just have different
Mm-hmm.
personalities. You just wouldn't go to a lion and try to pet him.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that with the dog, perhaps. This kind of
Mm-hmm.
dog, he looks friendly, but you wouldn't do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way people are. We just have to know ourselves and learn other people so we deal with them according to the knowledge that you have about their personality trait. And then you'll know the patterns. You see, each of these animals have their own patterns. And God created all of them, just like He created all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bible says, God looked at everything that He did, and it was good. Did
Yep.
He not say that?
Yep.
It was good. So if we're not somehow being effective, is that we need to know ourselves so we can grow ourselves. And that's why coaching is so important. And that's
Mm.
why a growth plan is so important. And
Yeah.
that's why I'm on one. And that's why I'm inviting you to join us in the Eve Speak platform to get on a growth plan for 2024.
Oh yes.
Because we can make all the resolutions we want and have all the desires we want, but unless I have a deliberate one that I'm following and putting into practice, it's all just hot air.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
That that's so true. We
by the
all
way,
have
Genevieve and
goals.
I, go ahead, Genevieve.
I say we all have goals that we want to achieve. We all want something, you know, we all want to achieve something in this year. But
Mhm.
someone say that goals are for people who wants to, to succeed or to win once. But when you want to win repeatedly, you have to set a system. And what you just said is that, having
I
a
like
growth
that quote.
plan, yeah,
Let's hear that one
having
again. When you want to reach a goal, what do? You do it
yeah,
once.
you can win once
You can
once
win
when you
once with a
reach a
goal.
goal. Yeah. But when you want to win repeatedly,
When you
you
want to win repeatedly,
yeah, you set a
do what?
system.
You set up a system. Oh, I
Yeah,
love it. Systemization.
exactly. So a
And that's
growth
what a
plan,
growth
just
plan is.
like yeah, you said, is a system. That it's mean that it's that's the plan, and the different step that you are determined to follow to reach this goal. Because what is interesting is that you can reach a goal without really see your life changing. But when you set up a system, you don't only reach a goal, but you grow,
Right.
with this goal. And this is what is more important. You
But
become
in this society, I mean, for myself, I know growing up, meeting your goals is so important,
mm,
but it's short-sighted because growth is more important. Because when you set out to grow, you will reach your goals, but you can meet your goals and not grow. Because
mm,
once the goal tends to give you destination disease. That's what I learned.
yeah,
Because once you get there, you're like, okay, I got my goal and I'm good. Like I just
yeah.
finish a fast, and I'm like, oh, I did that 3 weeks. Now I can eat whatever I want. I'm just gonna, screw my
Yeah.
diet up again. But
Mm,
if I'm on a system to eat well, regardless if I'm on
yeah.
a fast or not, then I am growing as opposed to just getting to the destination and saying, oh, I've arrived.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Does anyone have any questions? Anything that's sitting with you that is clicking for you? Please let us know. Let us know if we're on the right track. By the way, it seems like Genevieve and I are really good friends, right? But let me tell you, sometimes she annoys me. Let me
Oh
tell you
yeah.
why. You see these stripes that we're showing on here? They're very different.
Yeah, yeah. I,
Genevieve will tell you all the details and all the information. Oh my gosh. And she will go on. And I could just
yeah,
feel myself. I don't think I really told her this till today. I will
yeah.
feel myself just cringing. Oh my God, we should get to the point already.
Come to the point.
But her C personality,
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm a I'm a high wired C personality. I'm analytical person.
and what is it? What is it? The characteristics of a C personality? Show us what the
Well,
character of a C personality is, Jay.
they are the yeah. So we call them the compliant, but they are, analytical people, planner. You know that when you're a planner, you have to go step by step because you need accuracy. You don't move if you don't have the whole picture. You can go to the you can skip let's say the step. You cannot say it, okay, uh five and five is 10. And the D will say, okay, five and five is 10. But when you ask it to the C, he will say five and five can make 10. Or maybe if you want to have 10, you can also have four and six. You can also have,
I can. The point is, even though as she's explaining it, I'm getting annoyed. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
what's the bottom line? Um, my husband is a high D. I'm a D too. I'm a dominant too, but I'm not a high D. He will, he's
Yeah,
over.
yeah. I
I'm
see.
somewhere like, in the middle.
Yeah. And
So
this
when
is
she's going on and on with the explanations and the information and the cerebral, you know, traits,
yeah.
I am like, oh my God. It's like I'm scratching my finger against a chalkboard. And I'm a Christian, so I'm trying to be patient too. I'm trying to put in the spiritual
Yeah.
part into
I
it.
see that.
Just be patient and let her finish. But I'm like dying to say, okay, Genevieve, okay, what do you want done already? But is her personality bad? No, it's just
Yeah,
different.
exactly. And well, with the C and the S personality, like Angela, for example, uh, I am the one who will always say, Angela, can you maybe send me an email and then explain it to me more clearly because you're going too fast and okay, so maybe you just can take this. I said no. what do we have to do before that? Because I think that there is something missing. And I see, okay. And sometimes when I see her bothered, I say, oh, sorry, that's my C personality.
Exactly. But we can laugh at it, but this kind of stuff, it breaks
Yep,
relationships down. In a marriage,
exactly.
that will drive you nuts. You understand?
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
so that's why it's so important. And we see the breakdown of families all over America because of communication issues.
Yeah, exactly.
So communicating with a C, if you're a D and you want to communicate, assuming you
Yeah,
recognize, assuming you recognize, but now that we're educating you, you'll be able to recognize, oh, this person is, oh, she's a C. Okay, let me figure out how to deal with her.
yeah,
She's a C. Okay, I'm gonna
exactly.
give her all the details. I'm gonna
Yeah,
validate the facts because that's what she's
exactly.
gonna want to know.
If
She
not, they
wants to
will
be
ask you a lot of questions.
a lot of questions. Be ready to answer them. Be very
Exactly.
specific. Be precise in your explanation. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
this, and she actually
Exactly.
did the assessment. So this is how it came out for her. Be
Yeah.
patient. And that's where I struggle with her because you have to be
Mm-hmm.
patient to listen to all of that
Yeah.
stuff,
Mm-hmm.
answer all their questions, and follow up to provide them with additional data.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm like
Before.
taking my skin off.
Yeah, exactly. So these are the C's. So, say it like this. It's just like when we talk about, people who are, for example, a high S, just like you and a D, or people who are high I. When we talk about it like this, it's always funny. When we talk about personality with this, it is always funny, because there's many jokes, on the personality type, and maybe to all the audience, if they are connected to the other webinar, they will see how, studying the personality is funny. But as it is funny, it is also very important because when you know how to connect to communicate with the personality type, you can connect with the person. Because when you
Mm,
come and see, because you can communicate with someone without connecting with this person, you know because
right.
like I can have a meeting, let's say, with someone who just come and give me the end of the bottom line, and I'm like, its personality has a purpose, and that's why
Each
we have to
personality has a purpose. I like that.
yeah, yeah, and we have to respect all the high warrior. Let's remind something, Angela, is that nobody is just a C or
Mm.
just a D or just a S or just a I. We are all a blended of trait, but we all have a dominant trait.
We're
Me,
a
I am a
blend of all the traits, but we have a
exact
dominant trait.
dominant
That's a
traits.
good
Yeah.
point.
Some people have two dominant traits, just like you have two dominant S and D. I have three dominant traits. Some other person have maybe two or three, but we all have a dominant. So when you can see that you can use a dominant C personality to be a teacher, to be an administrative assistant, because there are people who will they are good observer.
Mhm.
They can work with precision. You can use them, for example, to be trainer. you know while for example, generally the high D are leaders because they are people who are not afraid of making decision.
Mhm.
So each personality, each trait have a purpose. And when we can see it well, when we look at the two pillar of the church, Paul and Peter.
I like
You
that.
see, yeah, their personality are very different, but they have different purpose, and no one is better than the other.
Well, their
Peter has a
personalities were different. They had the same purpose, though, which was to bring people to Christ, but they did it in different ways based on their
exactly,
personality.
exactly.
Yes.
Yes, Peter was sent to the Jewish, and Paul to the Gentile. You see,
Mm.
knowing that the Gentile has a lot of intellectual, just like the Roman at this time. God knew that he couldn't use someone like Peter. Okay. Paul was more bold. Paul was certainly a high D. You
Mm-hmm.
know, he was probably also a C because he was someone who was he was a good observer. He was not
Mm-hmm.
shy at all, and this is how he just caught this occasion when he was with the woman to preach the gospel, you know. So their personality was different and they had been used differently.
Personality has a purpose. Robin, have you wondered what personality you are? Please put it in chat. Patricia, do you think you know what personality you are based on this conversation? How about you, Shorna? And if you're guessing, that's okay. We do have the opportunity for you to sign up to take the DISC assessment test, which will give you a detailed response, an official response for you to assess what your personality type is. Robin wants to know what's my personality type. I am a D and an S. I'm a dominant and steady.
Yeah.
Bring up the details of a dominant and steady. Do you have that Jay, that you can so we can share it? Is it in the deck? I don't think they give it. Do they have the combined version of the D and the S? I don't know.
um I can find it here. Okay.
The point though is that I am loyal, I am steady, consistent. I want to see projects completed. I will follow through. I'm also a D. I'm not a high D though. I'm a D where I want the bottom line. I'm result oriented. I focus on bottom line thinking because I need to prepare for today so I can have success tomorrow. I love clarity. I love high morale because of my bottom line thinking. That's part of the D personality as well. And me being on a growth plan is part of my steady personality because I want to know that I have a way of getting where I want to go. So I embrace the growth journey.
Yeah, I have
Very
a
intentional.
I have a small summary here of the high S and D. So
Uh-huh.
we call them the attainer, the achiever. So this is uh, around
I am
your
an attainer and
personality.
I'm an achiever. Yep.
Yeah, so we say that they tend to be steady, consistent individual who prefer to deal with one assignment at a time. He
Mm-hmm.
or she will usually direct skills and experience into areas requiring depth and specialization. So an SD is steady under most pressure and strive to stabilize their environment.
There you
So
have it. Now,
their
wouldn't you want to
strength,
know that about yourself? What exactly would make you the most effective for
yeah.
2024? To explore and to explode with your possibilities? Of course you do. So I'm going to suggest that once we're going to share the link here, there's the link on the screen for you to
Mm-hmm.
sign up to take your personality test. Because remember, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. And that's usually nowhere. Isn't that right?
Yeah,
Um,
it's right.
so I want to say thank you guys for joining us. It's 9:55, 5 minutes to 10. You can reach us at www.evespeaks.com. You can reach me specifically at Angela at Eve Speaks, and you can also reach Genevieve at contact us at Eve Speaks. We do personalized coaching. I think the beginning of the year is a good time to, set yourself up to win by getting on a growth plan. I don't really have anything else unless you have. Let me see if anybody have any questions. I see Robin. Robin, let me see if she's telling me what. Okay, I have no idea. She wants to know the test. Okay, Robin is asking about the test. I'm just reading the question. Paul and Peter. Yes, that was a good point. Yes, I'm reading the comments. Sorry. Link to a small, link to a
Okay.
small on screen. Link is too
Yes.
small on the screen, I think is what she's saying. Is that what you're saying,
Yeah,
Robin?
she suggests to share it in the WhatsApp group,
Share it in
maybe.
the WhatsApp group. Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah.
We certainly will. So thank you so much for joining. We look forward to having you on and hearing from you and giving us any feedback that you think we could, do better on what we could do better to meet your needs more. And Shorna, thank you for joining. Shorna, I would love to know what you think your personality type is. You're here, Shorna. Tell us, what do you think? Patricia, Patricia, you never told us what your personality type is, but we'll find out later. But thank you, guys. We always finish on time here. We don't go over. But once again, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. So, and you know what? There's another quote I wanted to share before I go, actually. It's Albert Einstein. He says the first step to getting somewhere is to decide you are not going to stay where you
Where
are.
you are. Yep.
That's juicy. Juicy
Yep.
and delicious. Yes, yes.
So
All
let's
right,
let's
guys.
make this decision.
Yes, make a decision. Have a good night and thank you for joining us.
Thank you,
Bye
Angela.
bye.
Bye bye, everyone.
Hey, let me make sure that I'm not hanging up on anybody. Slideshows as well. She wants a slideshow as well. Okay, Jay, please send a slideshow so I can share it in the group. I think Robin wants the slideshow. Yes, yes, you got it.
Yeah.
Good night, guys.
Good night.